Hey guys, hope you're doing well, having a good day. We are going to talk about Eudora Welty today, but before we do, let's just touch on the story that you were to have read for today. You were to have read The Tomb. If you didn't read that, make sure that you read that. You want to make sure that you're reading these stories so that you can be prepared for the test. Because I'm not going to take the time to go through and tell you the story because you can read it on your own. I did ask you, though, to look for some irony at the end of the story, and I'm wondering if you found that. Let me point that out there toward the end when one of the girls was asking old Isaac what the chances were of old Dandy returning. And did you notice his response? He said, "Katie child, I think Dandy is gone to come no more. You must get you another man. Where Dandy is now, I expect he don't ever even think of you." So a little bit of irony there and alluding to the fact that he's dead. And then some more irony at the very end when the man is coming through town and says, "Nothing happened here yet, old man?" he asked, smiling. "No, sir, nothing yet," answered Isaac, but his eyes had in them an inscrutable look. So what kind of irony is that? Verbal irony, right? Because something did happen. But he says, "No, sir, nothing's going on, nothing's happened here." So make sure that you have read that story, you're familiar with it. Okay, let's talk about Eudora Welty. Eudora Welty, in a lot of her fiction, it's set in her home region, which is in the Mississippi Delta country. And she was born in Mississippi, and her first short story, Death of a Traveling Salesman, kind of got her some national attention. 5 years later, she published her first collection of stories. And since then, her stories have regularly appeared in major national magazines. She's became very well-known author. She also wrote a novel. She won a Pulitzer Prize for her novel, The Optimist's Daughter, in 1973. She did receive many national honors and prizes, but she chose to remain in the South, to remain in Mississippi, where most of her fiction takes place. She is a very gifted writer. She liked to write about local tradition and culture. Her characters that she writes, they are sometimes they are attractive, sometimes they're repulsive. Her characters are not types, it's not like they have like this certain type. She writes about individuals. Each character is an individual, not just like stereotypical. They are definitely individuals. So some facts there to know about her: that her fiction is in her home country in Mississippi. Her works emphasize local tradition, local culture. Her characters are attractive and some repulsive as well. She's very good at creating an individual. Her stories have regularly appeared in magazines, and she won the Pulitzer Prize in 1973. Now, the story you're going to read from her, this is probably one of her most well-known stories, is called A Worn Path. And as you read it, I want to see if you can figure out what is the literal meaning and what is the figurative meaning of the title. The title has both. And I want to see if you can figure those out, the literal and the figurative meaning of the title. Also, I want you to think of what Eudora Welty would define a hero as. Maybe there's more than one type or species of hero. And what do you think a hero is in Eudora Welty's eyes? That's what I want you to think about as you're reading the story. Now, the story here, the conflict is going to be man versus society. So a power greater than himself. Okay, so man versus society. And as you read it, I want you to figure out, is the tone critical? Is it neutral? Or is it sympathetic? What tone do you think? How does she want us to feel toward the main character in the story? So read that story there, A Worn Path, and we will talk about it next time.